I'm the only girl here not wearing a dress. They're all Audrey and Grace. I'm doing my best. People I know, they glide through the party. People I don't, they're staring at me. Whispers carry, they're trying to guess. A neighbor told my mother once, what a nice young man.
Multi-instrumentalist Maia Sharp has written songs for the likes of Cher, Bonnie Raitt, Trisha Yearwood, Keb Mo, Mahal, and Art Garfunkel, just to name a few. Hailing from LA, Maia is currently based in Nashville, often collaborating with many musicians and songwriters in that creative community. She also collaborates often with her dad, 3-time Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter and guitarist Randy Sharp. Randy's songs have been recorded by artists including Linda Ronstadt, Delaney Bramlett, Glen Campbell, Tanya Tucker, Edgar Winter, the Dixie Chicks, Emmylou Harris, and of course, Maia. Tomboy is Maia Sharp's 10th solo album, and her musical talent is on full display. In addition to her wonderful vocals and guitar, Maia, who's played saxophone for years, supplied a very cool sax solo on Edge of the Weatherline, one of many great tracks on the record. Stay tuned for my talk with the very talented Maia Sharp.
Whispers to myself, they carry the most. Tomboy, not really this or that, somewhere in the middle of it. Tomboy, is it still just a phase when she stays a tomboy?
You're listening to Frets with DJ Faye. No lessons, no technique info. I just talk to people who play guitar. Stay tuned. Maia Sharp, thanks so much for taking some time to talk today. I realize you have a show this evening, right?
Yes, I do. Absolutely. And thanks for having me. Yeah. I'm playing the Iron Horse tonight in Northampton.
Nice. Well, I know you're based in Nashville, but from LA, and you still get back to Los Angeles. And now you're doing shows in both October and November. That's a busy schedule.
Yeah, I kind of put the pedal to the metal when I have an album out. I don't tour all year all the time, but when there's a new project out there and, I'm just excited about it and I want to get the word out. So I hit the road a little harder than usual. And the Northeast has been friendly since the very beginning. I think some of the radio stations in this area and like all the way up to Portland, Maine and kind of all the way down the coast have been supportive since my very first album. So I try to make a habit of it. And I really try to make a habit of getting up to this area in October.
Oh, yeah.
It's a kind of seasonal that I never knew back in Los Angeles, and I still don't really see it in Nashville. I get a little closer to it in Nashville, but it's not like here.
Yeah. Well, the November show, you're doing October and November shows, but the November one is at City Winery. I went to the City Winery in St. Louis for the first time a couple of weeks ago. I had never been to a city winery in any city. I know they're in several. Yeah. But it's a nice, intimate venue, so I was glad to experience that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Bill Deasy is an old friend of mine, and we're going to share that night. And Pittsburgh has also been one of those towns that's just been like a favorite stop that I try to do every time I have an album out. I try to get back to Pittsburgh.
Nice. Well, I really love your new album, Tomboy, and I do want to talk about the album. But first, I'd love to hear about your early years, kind of leading up to your career as a musician and songwriter. You were born in Central California, but your family moved to Los Angeles when you were pretty young, right?
Yeah, I was 5 when we moved down. So I pretty much only remember LA. I don't really know the Central Valley very well. Yeah.
Well, usually I ask what kinds of music a person was exposed to as a child and if their parents introduced you to any particular music. In your situation, your dad was a Grammy Award-winning songwriter for many great artists and bands, a lot. Do you remember, though, like at what age of awareness, like when did you realize what your father was doing as a career?
Oh, always.
Okay.
He's been a singer-songwriter from as long as I can remember, and he still is. Yeah, there was always music in the house. My folks actually met singing together in a band in high school.
Oh,
So
wow.
she also sang. It was just always around, but it was never assumed of me. It was never pressed on me. If I had any questions about music or how to get around in the studio or an instrument, they were always there with the answers, but they never offered it unless I asked. I know that I could have been whatever I wanted to be. It just, I don't know. I was pulled to being a saxophone player. That was the first thing that I did. I went to college for that. And then about halfway through college, I think I heard that early echo of like wanting to be a poet, wanting to be like those artists that I grew up with. And to your earlier question, my parents, I'm very fortunate that the music that was playing in the house when I was a kid that my parents chose is the good stuff, man. I mean, Bonnie Raitt and James Taylor and Paul Simon and Jackson Browne and Ricky Lee Jones. And like, that's who I grew up on. So I had that in me when I thought I was going to be a saxophone player. And I still play, like I play on 2 tracks on the new album, but like shedding like Coltrane solos. And even though it's super challenging and really cool, it wasn't really hitting me in the heart. So something happened right around 2021 where I like, you know what, this is the music that really moves me still. And also some of the offshoots of those artists. Like I got really, really into Katie Lang and like Annie Lennox and just, like even like some 80s folks like Howard Jones,
Right, yeah.
So those were the influences that were like, you know what, maybe it's time to try your hand at this.
Yeah.
And I fell hard for it fast. And like, okay, I still want to keep the saxophone up, but songwriting is the pursuit now of the day. Like, this is what I want to try to do. And I was living in LA, and the way to do that as a career was to get a record deal. This is in the late 90s, middle to late. I signed my deal in 96. My first album came out in 97. The way to do that is to get a deal and to get a publishing deal and to try to get your songs cut by other artists and to try to get on the radio. And then you got to stay on the radio and, so that was the hustle for a really long time.
Right. So you play saxophone. You obviously play guitar too. You play piano and I believe oboe.
Oh my gosh, you really did. You really did some digging. Yeah, oboe is first. That was my choice in junior high. And I remember this like it was last week, man. It was my dad and I were driving to my first day of junior high in LA. That is 7th grade. And that's the first time also in LA public schools at the time where you could learn music in school. And so we're driving to school and we're listening to the classical station and an oboe solo comes on. And Dad says, you know what? I bet if you chose oboe, you could work because I know there's so few oboe players in town. And I hadn't even picked up an instrument. I hadn't chosen my instrument yet, but that made perfect sense to me. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to play oboe. And I was the only oboe player in school for that entire time until I looked over at the saxophone section and saw how much more fun they were having than I was having trying to learn oboe because it's such a beast. And so I included saxophone because the fingering is similar. And so I was learning saxophone at the same time. And then in high school and college, it was just all about the saxophone.
Hey, I want to talk about Plug. Plug makes it easy for you to purchase the personal technology you need at 40 to 70% off retail pricing. What can you get from Plug? Certified pre-owned devices including iPhones, Androids, AirPods, Macs, smartwatches, accessories, and more. I originally didn't even want an Apple Watch, but I got one from Plug and I love it. I wear it every day. Your purchase is backed by their unmatched 1-year warranty and 30-day money-back guarantee. One more very cool thing, Plug is dedicated to helping reduce e-waste around the globe. To date, Plug has helped save over 1 million devices from reaching landfills, and they're looking to double that number by 2025. Link to Plug Tech from the show notes, and check out all the great deals and savings on certified pre-owned devices. Plug Electronics. Check it out. Well, prior to learning all those instruments, you recorded your first song at an even younger age. Am I right about that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Now, so that was kind of a one-off. Like it wasn't like I was writing songs from the age of 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, because music was always in the house and my dad always had a way to record handy. I remember coming out, I was 5, and I walked up to him and I'm like, hey, Dad, I wrote a song. And he had one of those cassette recorders just literally just handy, like sitting right there that you have to hit the record and the play at the same time.
Right.
It was one of those.
Exactly.
And he recorded the song on a cassette, and then we don't know where it went. And then a friend called right as we were wrapping up my second album in 2002. A friend called like, hey, I found this cassette in a box in a closet, and I think you want to hear it. And he sent it down to us. It took a little bit of cleaning up, but we ended up putting it at the end of that album. So you can hear it. Ghosts is the name of it, which
yeah.
freaks me out a little bit because I was 5 and like, did I see a ghost? Like, did a ghost show itself to me? I don't know. But you can hear the song. It's like a minute long. But it wasn't like I kept on going after that. Like I took a break and did other things.
Sure,
and then I came back to it in my early 20s.
That's very cool, though. Well, when you got to the point of playing music, fast forward to you're a little older, got to the point of playing music out at venues. Were those initially like solo gigs, or did you play in a band at that point or with another musician?
That's a really interesting question. I haven't had the chance to answer this one in a while, but it's interesting. I started with the biggest band I could possibly put together. Like I wanted as many of my friends on that stage with me as I could muster up. So I think I started with like a 6-piece band or 7-piece band. I had like violin, and there's keys, and there's another guitar and bass, and like just everybody, please, And then I pared it down. I started to pare it down. And then as I toured, I had to pare it down, I think, to a trio. And then I went out as a duo. And I remember resisting the solo acoustic show for a really long time. Like, no. I need somebody up there for the energy, for the eye contact, for the support. And at some point, I took a leap off that cliff and did a solo acoustic show in a big venue. And I remember it was pretty terrifying, but also liberating. And now it's kind of my favorite way to go. So most of my shows now, unless I'm in town, if I'm home, it's fun to put together a band. But anytime I'm touring, at least for now, I really love to do the solo show. You get to push and pull. You get to try things. It just feels more intimate. It's more just about the lyric, which is the thing that I've worked the hardest on in all of these songs. And I love it now.
And then there was one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, your debut album, Hardly Glamour, was on the Copeland Brothers label, Arc 21. How did that come about? When did you cross paths with like Miles Copeland, or how did that come to be?
Yeah. So early on in my realizing that I wanted to be a songwriter, I would go see my friends' bands that I was going to college with. I would just go see them. And if there was somebody in the band that I felt like, hey, I would love to write with this person. Again, this is a terrifying thing. I'm like in my early 20s, and like you're handing somebody a cassette. This is before like, hey, listen to me on Spotify. It was like, here's my song. Do you want to write together? So my buddies Joe and Josh were playing with a band called The Borrowers in LA. And the lead songwriter in that band is a guy named Mark Addison, who is still a friend and just such a talented human being. So Mark and I started writing together, and we wrote a song called Don't Come Around Here Tonight. And I didn't have anything going on yet. I didn't have a label. I didn't have a publisher. I didn't have a manager. I didn't have any of that. But Mark signed a publishing deal, and his publisher pitched our song to Miles Copeland for one of his artists. He was managing, let me see, Belinda Carlisle at the time. And he passed on the song for Belinda Carlisle, but he really liked the voice on the demo and the vibe of the demo. And I was the singer on it. And he wanted to hear some more songs from me. So that started my relationship with Miles. And it took a couple of years of like playing songs for him and us kind of talking about what it would look like. IRS was folding into ARC 21. So it was like becoming an imprint, and ARC 21 was going to be his new label. And I was going to be one of the first artists on that, which I was. But also this is really cool because this all kind of happened at the same time. Mark's publisher kept on pitching the song and pitched it to Cher's producers, who loved it and put it, and Cher recorded it on her album It's a Man's World that came out in 96, I think. So I had a Cher cut. So I had a Cher cut now. And and like talking to Miles. And it was all just because I mustered up the nerve to give a cassette to Mark Addison and say, hey, you want to write together? And we did. And that's what happened. And that was like the start of both of the forks in the road there, that I never chose one or the other. It was like, I love writing songs that other artists record, and I love making my own albums. And both of those things started in that same year.
I wanna name it, hold it tight, I wanna own it outright, like everything that comes and goes is my decision. You wake up and fly away, 'cause I'm yelling, please stay, might be time I get to know my counterintuition, my counterintuition. Easy to believe in. Map the way and go another. Want the one and take the other. The new leader of the mission. My counterintuition.
Hey, Dave, how long have you been a Euclid Records customer?
Believe it or not, about 30 years.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I used to go there in the late 90s.
That's amazing. Well, you know what? 2026 is our 45th anniversary in St. Louis, and our New Orleans store is turning 15.
The NOLA store is cool, but the St. Louis store has 2 floors of used and new vinyl and CDs.
And every genre you can think of. You can shop in the store 7 days a week or on the website 24/7. We have our own shipping department, so anything you buy from us is lovingly mailed out by us.
When I buy from the website, I use the free local pickup option.
Yes, and we've also done some special orders for you. We do whatever it takes to get music in your hands. One thing, though, that you haven't done with us is sell your collection. We're always buying vinyl and CDs and cassettes for cash or trade. We even travel to someone who has over 1,000 titles in their collection.
So how does one partake in the Euclid Records experience?
Well, our St. Louis store is at 19 North Court Avenue in Webster Groves. You can check out our website, euclidrecords.com, every day to see the latest new and used arrivals, plus events. We share that on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook as well. And remember, we ship worldwide, so no matter where a Frets listener is, there's Euclid Records.
So you had a deal, you had an album.
Hmm.
Then came the self-titled debut album, or I guess it's just called Maya. And
Sharp. Yeah. No, yeah, I never went with the one name thing. I got asked
okay,
about
so
that a lot. Like, yeah, do I want to be Madonna, Cher? No.
yeah.
I think I want to be Maia Sharp.
Was that the first, obviously not the first time in your life, but on record, was that the first time your dad appeared on one of your records, or was he on the first one too?
He was on the first one
Oh, he
too.
was. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So we co-produced the first one. We did a lot of co-writing on that first one. He played a lot on it. Yeah, he was a major influence on that, and like a shepherd through those early days in the studio. Like
Yeah.
there was a lot of that if I recorded it alone, it was because of what he taught me. But a lot of it was also recorded with him and also with Mark Addison. Yeah, and then the second one, I know Dad was involved. I'm not like looking at the credits now, and it feels like so long ago. But yeah, all of the first the first 7 albums before I moved to Nashville and became my own label and produced them all alone now, which I love also. But those first 7 albums all have a story of like co-producing or somebody else producing, and everyone has kind of a different adventure to it.
Well, throughout your musical career, you've not only collaborated with a lot of amazing musicians, but your songs, as you mentioned, have been covered by a lot of great artists. I mean, you mentioned Cher. You've had songs done by Raitt and Dixie Chicks, or am I supposed to just say the Chicks now? Or?
Well, they were the Dixie Chicks back then.
Back then they
yeah,
were.
they're the Chicks now, and I understand that.
Lisa Loeb, Keb Mo.
Yeah.
A lot of people. I'm sure I'm not even covering all of them. Well, and again, we've already mentioned a couple of them. Your dad worked with so many great people too.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Oh, he's had some great ones.
So cool that you guys are able to work together too.
I know. I love it. It feels like just a really lucky thing. We enjoy working together. There's no strain or weirdness. We truly enjoy working together and learning from each other.
Well, for your new album, which I think is your 10th album, Tomboy.
Amazingly, yeah, it's number 10.
You recruited Eric Darkin, who's such an interesting percussionist, using found objects. That's something I always loved. I've never been a drummer or percussionist, but I can remember experimenting years ago when I was just dabbling in like recording songs. I had I'm showing my age, but I have an old reel-to-reel, when I was in my teens. But I would, occasionally just grab like a bottle of vitamins or something handy and just kind of shake it along to the beat just to see what it sounded like. I think I've always had a fascination with that. And Eric, there's someone else who has recorded with some very big names as well. But like working with him, what's the process? Do you just say, here's a song, what do you think? What should we do?
Well, the best way to get the most out of him is to let him do it from his place, because he has a loft in his house that is just filled with these instruments that he's clearly collected from all over the world, and it's just great, just incredible. Like if you asked him to come to your studio, like he would only be able to maybe carry a tenth of what he has. So the way we did it on the last 2 albums, because he was on the last one also, was that I would send him files and I would get the songs far enough along where he could tell like where the accents are and where the syncopations are and like where the like arc of the dynamic of the whole song is. And I would give him some clues about what I'm looking for, or even put in like a guide of something where, just like you said, I grabbed a vitamin bottle or I slapped the top of a book with a sandbag or whatever. And I was like, I need kind of something like this, but, or like, hey buddy, do you have a bass drum? Like, do you have a giant kind of marching band sounding bass drum? He's like, I have 3 of those, So I would send him the files and he would send back every time. He'd give me a lot, like 8 to 20 tracks of things that he did, and always just so in the pocket. This is why I love to work with Eric. Where he hears the pocket and where I hear it are the exact same place. And that's, it isn't a right and wrong, but like when you're working with a drummer or a percussionist, not everybody hears like where it really settles in the same place. Like some people are on top, some people are way on the backside. Eric and I are somewhere like middle back is kind of where I want it. And he's just there. He just lives there. It's so cool. And he would send me back these tracks and also be just the most like team player guy. Like, and if you have any comments, I can change anything or add anything or take anything away. Like, okay. So if I had a couple comments, he'd be like, sure. And they'd be there in a couple hours and they'd be just right. So yeah, he was huge. He was the first on this latest album. I spent more time alone first, framing it out and creating a foundation with the guitars, maybe a Wurlitzer, a synth theme, some percussive suggestions that I may or may not keep. And so he was the first person on this project that heard what I was doing. Like he was the first outside person that I let in on it. It was just me for hours until I sent it all out to Eric.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I was born on the breeze, raised beneath the trees, and the night the courthouse burned, they lost my name.
While living in Columbia, Missouri, Deke Dickerson formed the much-loved garage rock band The Untamed Youth. He was 17. In the early 90s, Deke moved to LA and has enjoyed great success as an excellent guitarist. He has a regular column in Guitar Player, has written several books on guitar. He's even scored and contributed songs to film soundtracks.
I look back on it now, I'm like, wow, I would have thought I was a total weirdo if I wasn't me. I grew up in the 70s and all my friends were listening to Kiss and Led Zeppelin and somehow or another when I was about 5 or 6 years old, I just got turned on to 50s rock and roll and something about it just kind of latched on. And then of course later on, I started playing guitar, got into guys like Chuck Berry and Gene Vincent and the Blue Caps and Eddie Cochran and all those kind of people. And it just kind of exploded from there.
Hope you'll check out my talk with Deke on Frets.
Started from good seed, but got swallowed by the weeds. Go tell your mom you're fooling with a wild, wild thing.
Hey, this is Maia Sharp, and you're listening to Frets with DJ Faye.
In the area of atmospheric sounds, your sax playing on Edge of the Weatherline is really nice. Boy,
Thank you.
Song just has such a wonderful feel.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to, there's a line about the 80s, right? I'm a sucker, or something like I'm a sucker for an 80s song, and
right.
The saxophone was such an 80s thing. Like I even tried to like carve out a solo that might have been played on an 80s song, a George Michael song or like a Sade song. That's what I was listening to as a kid who fell in love with saxophone. Like saxophone was everywhere. Oingo Boingo, Howard Jones.
Right.
And like every hit had a sax solo in it. Sheila E., Billy Ocean, and they were glorious. They were works of art, the sax solos. And so that's what hooked me. And then now you hardly ever hear one.
Well, you achieved a great sound on the...
Well, thank you. Thanks.
Well, you appeared on Fancy Haygood's latest album, and you also employed a lot of other great musicians for the album. I mean, he's on your album, your new one, and you've employed a lot of other great musicians for the album. Had you worked with all or most of them previously?
Interesting that you called out Fancy, because he was the one that I had not worked with before, except for that one song that I produced for him, which is a killer cover of the Steel Drivers song "Where Rainbows Never Die."
Oh yeah.
And he asked me to do that and play everything on that production, and I said yes, and had no idea. First of all, I just wanted to work with him because he's such a talent and just such a good human being. Like, he just, everything that he represents and he seems to be on a mission to just like be inclusive and optimistic and all of the things that I want to support. So I said yes, like didn't even hesitate, and then realized how freaking hard that riff is on that song. And like I had to put it together. I mean, I did it, and it was challenging, and it ended up being a lot of fun to do too. But it was, man, it pushed me. I did get Sarah Holbrook on there too. She played some violin on that one. But and then yeah, for my album, I had worked in some capacity with everybody on it. Matthew Perriman Jones and I had written together, and we wrote that song that he's a guest vocalist on. Emily West, Terry Clark, and I had written together. I had sung on her albums before. Garrison Starr, Sarah and Shannon. Yeah, I think so. Fancy was the newest person to the list for me.
And of course, your dad appears on this album as well.
Yeah.
That's great. Good old dad.
Yeah. And now, well, he's a hell of a steel player.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got him to do that. And a 12-string player. And he's such a 12-string fan. He's such a Byrds fan.
Oh, nice.
That he has, like, every kind of 12-string that you can have. He like finds it on eBay and he buys it. And now I know anytime I need a 12-string anything, I could just call Dad.
Yeah, speaking of City Winery in St. Louis, I regret this, but I missed Roger McGuinn was just there recently. Or, the more I think about it might have been the Sheldon. I think it was the Sheldon, which is another beautiful venue. But yeah, I am a huge Byrds fan as well.
Yeah, I bet that was a good one.
Well, Tomboy closes with a really beautiful rendition of U2's I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, with Garrison Starr, you mentioned, adding harmony. Besides being a classic, gorgeous song, was it something you always wanted to cover, or do you, in fact, feel like you still haven't found what you're looking for?
Yeah.
I hope that isn't too personal.
No, that's okay. It's more the second one.
Okay.
I haven't been drawn to covers really in any way up to this point. Like I didn't even ever put them in shows really. I think maybe once or twice in the 25 years I played one live. I hadn't even considered putting one on the album. I recorded that for my Patreon page at the end of 2020. I was looking for some new thing to do. And I also had asked my film and TV sync licensing folks if there was like a list of friendly songs that maybe I could do a cover. It was I don't have to tell you, it was a strange time, the end of 2020. It was I need to kind of till the soil. I need to try some new things. I need to shake out of this. And they gave me a list of friendly songs where if I were to record them and they were to get them placed, the artists, the writers of the songs would probably agree, So that song was on the list and I revisited it. I'd heard it forever, of course, because we all have, but I hadn't really listened to it and I hadn't really let myself feel it, I think. And whatever the cross section was of that song and the end of 2020, man, leveled me. I was like, okay, I got to try this. And then I learned it, and I realized that Bonnie sings it too high for me.
Oh, it's not in your range.
He's a whole step higher than what I did on the album. But it was really therapeutic to learn it and to put it down. And then I'm embarrassed to say I kind of forgot about it. Like, I put it up on the Patreon page and thought, okay, that's that. You know, I gave it to my sync folks and like thought I was done. And then it just kind of went in the hard drive in a folder somewhere. And years later, I was looking for something else entirely and saw this folder that said U2 cover. And I still didn't remember what it was. I thought, oh, did I do a cover for somebody? Like, because just seeing a cover just didn't feel like something I would have done. I had literally forgotten about it.
Wow.
So I opened up the file and played it, and I welled up. Like, I can't believe this almost just had this one quick life on the Patreon page. And then there's a lot of things on that page that I should probably revisit, because I get really inspired and I make something and I post it just there for the people who are signed up for that. And it doesn't always get any other life. I mean, I'm happy for them and I'm happy for me because I still got inspired to do that thing. But yeah, once I heard it, I was like, okay, I got to get this out. And then it felt like a great last thought for this album.
It's really nice. Really nice.
Thank you.
You mentioned Matthew Perryman Jones, who is on Tomboy. You and Matthew played a show at Nashville Sunday Nights recently.
Yeah.
He's based in Nashville also, right?
Yes, he is.
I thought he was. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. He opened the show, and that was like my local album release show. And then we sang our duet together for the first time, so far the only time.
Very nice.
It was really fun.
Well, at this point, are there more songs and maybe an 11th album in the works? Maybe all those songs from Patreon will lead to...
No. Well, I mean, I have a little bit of a thought in mind for what might be next, but also I feel so connected to this album. I really want to milk it. Like, I want to get it out there for as long as I can, to as many ears as I can. And so I'm probably going to be calling it my new album for another year. And I'm just going to be out there playing it as much as I can.
Yeah. Well, I found myself traveling more than I thought I was going to be in the last couple of months, a couple times unexpectedly. And 2 of those were road trips. And I had Tomboy playing and on the road, and it was nice. It's just such a nice album.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much. Thanks.
Maia Sharp, thank you so much for this. This has been a lot of fun.
It sure has been. Thank you, Dave.
I have climbed the highest mountains. I have run through the fields only to be with you. Only to be with you. I have run, I have crawled, I have scaled these city walls, only to be with you. But I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
Maia Sharp will perform at City Winery Pittsburgh on November 23rd with singer-songwriter and guitarist Bill Deasy. Tomboy is available on both CD and vinyl. You can find a link to purchase it and also a link to more information about Maia in the show notes to this episode. Thanks for listening and stay tuned.
Cold as a stone, but I still haven't found what I'm looking for. But I still haven't found
Hey, this is Maia Sharp, and you're listening to Frets with DJ Faye. Fuck me. Look what I did. It did exactly the same thing.
Did you dig this chat? Then check out past episodes. Please subscribe, tell 2 friends, and follow Frets on Instagram and YouTube. And leave a glowing review wherever you're hearing this episode.